Hey guys, so today is our update for May 2021 on the houseplants, and before us is the Phalaenopsis that I put on a piece of seagrass intended for reptiles. And down here are her blooms behind that snake plant there. We'll get to that in a minute. But I wanted to start off here with my TRADESCANTIA ZEBRINA that we potted into a hanging pot. She has really filled up this top here, and she is starting to get her trailers on here, and she's got one coming down on this side. Her counterpart, sorry for the tight swing there, but this was potted at the same time. She's not quite as full on the top, so I will probably take her trailer that she is starting on here and cut it off and just stick it back in the top till it gets a little fuller. And then I am going to get off of this chair and we will finish the rest. All right, so we are on the ground, a little less shaky, I get a little nervous when I'm up on that chair, so, because I'm always afraid I'm going to just step off of it not paying attention. Anywho, so this is our Syngonium here. She is filled out quite a bit. I'm still turning her every couple of days just to make sure that she's evened out. Next to her is our Phalaenopsis Sarai. She is a NOID. She is named after one of my daughters, Sarai, and doing really well. Next to her we have one of the Tadias. Let's see, which one is this? You'd think I'd have it memorized by now, but I don't. So this is our Tadia Blush, Tadia Pink Lucky, with this beautiful, and I know on camera this comes more off as like a fuchsia color, but it's more of a deep purple pink color. I'm not sure, but I just love that lip. That lip is just beautiful, and then that white edging around that, oh my goodness, just awesome. Then down here we have our TRADESCANTIA ZEBRINA that we potted into a shallow pot. It's really meant for you know, outside gathering food bowl type thing, but I like it in there. And she is filling in the top part. She's starting to get really long. I have a feeling those are going to start falling over, and as they do, I'll just cut back and keep putting her back into the pot. Then down here we have our PEPEROMIA Frost that was repotted and looking a little sad last month. She's finally recovered, and look at there. Let's see, can we just, oh, sorry. Let's see, there we go. That, darlings, is her bloom. Isn't it just amazing? But you know what? It's a bloom, and that means that she's pretty happy in there. And then we have our ANTHURIUM. This is one of the red ones, and she is continuing to grow new leaves and new growth, so pretty happy with that. That is that on that table. And then let's go to this table. So this is our Princess Pinois Scary. I recently did an update on her and her other Brookside orchid friends. Her new growth is growing pretty good. There's no roots showing currently in the pot, but I expect that to change by the end of next month. Then back there we have our GRAPTOSEDUMS. The one in the front closest to the window is the California Sunset. She should be a lot redder than that, but with the tree now filling out in my front yard, she's not getting quite as much light, so it is not as red, but still producing. And then here we have my sad Peperomia Metallica that I just think is going to go bye-bye. But, you know, as long as there's something in there, I'm going to try. This is another Peperomia that I picked up at the store. Isn't it just so cute, so stringy looking? I'm not sure which kind it is yet. I haven't looked it up, but I just thought it was kind of cool. And then back here we have our Chinese money plant, or the Pilea peperomides, and it is starting to get really huge, and the BBs in the pot are starting to really take off. Especially, let me see if I can move these leaves out of the way. Do you see how big that one is getting? Last month that one was probably the size, maybe a little bit smaller than that, so I'm gonna have some babies. And then we have our jade cutting that I did that is doing rather well. Let's just turn her around just a wee bit so you can kind of see the other side. The two over here are doing really well. And then we have our DIEFFENBACHIA that I have moved from off of the plant stand to here, and she has really taken off. looks like we need to turn her around because she's a little naked on that side. So let's turn her around while I'm thinking about it. And then next to her, we have our Catatante Orange Kiss. Again, really filling out that nice new growth. And I expect it to start working on that bulb. Back here, we have our Star of Bethlehem. I am going to take this here so you can kind of see what the scientific name is. I'll also put it on the screen. But she is finished blooming, so I am still watering her. Once her leaves all die off, then she'll go into her rest and won't bloom again until next year. Over here we have our Paphiopedilum male star. She was sold as male hell, but like I've said before, she resembles more of the male star, so that's what we're calling her. Still looking fabulous. And let's just get you around here. Move her out of the way a little bit. And do you see? No, you don't see. She has a new leaf coming in. Let me just pick her up real quick, guys. Sorry. And there is her new leaf coming. So she should probably also be producing a new spike in a few months with that as well. And then we have our TRADESCANTIA red jewel here, doing really well in her rhino pot. I've got one of my peperomia cuttings, nope, sorry, begonia cuttings, not a peperomia, begonia cuttings here. She's doing pretty good, and I've kept the soil moist. I don't keep it wet. Like I said, today is houseplant watering day, so she will be tested to see if she needs more water. Then we have our bromeliad, that is just continually growing leaf after leaf. Over here we have a Phalaenopsis with, right now this is my favorite bloom Phalaenopsis. Look at her. I mean, the picotee, the deep lip, just, I mean, what is not to love about this orchid? This just gorgeous. She is just absolutely stunning. All right, so that's it on the bench. Oh, no, it's not. I got this one here. I'm calling her Stripes. She's red stripes. Can you guess why? I don't know why I got her. I just thought she was so cute and so pretty. I took the spike off of her. They had her like this. And I kind of like them hanging more natural. This one I would let hang more natural, but she hangs really low. And so she was getting caught in things. And I kept catching myself on there. All right, so let's go on to the next. All right, so let's finish looking at what's in the window. So this is my jade pothos. And at first I thought it might be the golden pothos because of the marbling, but the marbling on here is a lot more green than the golden pothos, which has more of a yellow marbling. She looks a little sad because if you can do this to your leaf, guys, that's your plant telling you, hey, I need some water, I'm thirsty. So I'll be watering her today when I'm done here. And then let's go over here to the Brassavola cucullata, supposed to be the yellow form, but she is continuing to work on that new growth. So probably won't get a spike out of that one, but soon. And then we have our string of bananas that is really filling in the pot really well. And we've got some more strings coming in there. Right here, we've got the Nepenthes that still is not very happy. She's growing, but no cups are forming. So I might move her somewhere else just to see how she does somewhere else. And then let's just look at the string of bananas again, how long the strings are. Look at this. This one here is almost down to the bench. Okay, so on this stool, we have our Mama Sherry baby, who is working on 2 new growths. And this new growth here was a lot smaller than the one over here, which is almost the same size as it was. It's gotten a little bit bigger, but this back one is really taken off. So hopefully one of them will bloom for me. I know I keep saying that. If not, I do expect the next growth from it. Then I have this little, I don't know what it is. It's a little clipping from one of my daughter's succulents that she has, and it's a climber, so that's why that stake is in there, so she'll climb up on that. And then right here we have our Dendrobium kingianum doing really well, and we have a new growth on it as well. I don't want to move it around too much with that new growth growing. And behind them we have our Peperomia type, just again loving life in that window. And then we have this snake plant here, and then we have one over here in the corner. And if you can see the green string, which obviously you can, that is because I've tied them together. I've recently split this. This used to be one plant. I've recently split it. I got it from my husband's aunt, and I believe it's a 45-year-old plant, 25-year-old plant, but it is an old plant, and I'm hoping that I can care for it and nurture it and have it get a lot bigger. I'm going to eventually get a stand to put that one on. I just didn't have one, so I'll put it there. And then back there we have our Ficus burgundy, just continually growing and shooting up new roots, new growths. Can you tell roots are on the brain? I'm thinking of moving the Ficus burgundy over here and putting that snake plant over there, just because I feel like this snake plant is kind of blocking some of the light. But I'll kind of watch it for the next couple of weeks and see if my burgundy slows down. If it does, then I'll just switch them around. And then up here is the Phalaenopsis Deja, again a NOID named after one of my daughters that I recently mounted onto the seagrass. It's supposed to be a hammock that you put into a reptile tank, but I thought it was kind of cool. So kind of seeing how that's doing. I've been spraying the moss every day and then just kind of keeping an eye on her. And if she starts struggling, obviously she'll go into a pot. And then let's see, we have our Phalaenopsis pom-pom right here, who, let's see if I can get closer without knocking anything over, is still trying to grow that spike. One day. And then here we have our Phalaenopsis speciosa red, is no new growths on her. Then we have our, let's see, which one is this? This is one of the ones that we repotted, and I expected her to pout, and she's still kind of pouting, and I'm okay with that. But this is our, let's see if I can focus it, Phalaenopsis sogo yakuton. She should be kind of stop pouting probably by next month, but you know, she's not going downhill, she's not droopy, she's just mad. Then here we have, what did we call this one? Hold on. This one is my Phalaenopsis kaleidoscope. She's a NOID, but she is just gorgeous. She had not skipped a beat when I moved her from a nasty moss mix to this bark perlite and charcoal mix. And then we have Sunshine. Can you tell why we call her Sunshine? Funny story, I almost bought her again today. I went to the store and I was like, oh my God, that thing is gorgeous. Picked it up and I was like, put it down, you have that already. So she has been in bloom for a long time, and she is continuing her spike, as you can see right here. All right, and then, let's finish with this little shelf here. We have a TRADESCANTIA ZEBRINA cutting, and I'm hoping that that glittery shine is showing on that leaf. That is one of the things that I just find so beautiful on those, as well as this deep purple under the bottom. Just gorgeous. Guys, these things, you just pop off an end, you pinch it off at a node, stick it in the soil, and there it goes. And then over here we have our TRADESCANTIA Nanook, who had a nice flower show on her earlier this week, but as they died off I have deadheaded, but as you can see we've got some more blooms coming out. Over here we have our little soft cloud Phalaenopsis Keiki growing that new leaf, and she's got some new roots coming in there. And behind her, or next to her, I have my Zygo Nesia Zygopetalum hybrid. Can you see what I see? We have a spike. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm so excited. This is going to be the first time this thing has rebloomed for me since I got it back in, I'm going to say 2019, guys. I really think it was 2019. Boom. Look at that. October of 2019. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Okay, I can't get it to focus, but trust me, it says 10/2019. And I am so excited. I did have a spike at one time, but it broke it. So this one here, I move it minimally. I am not breaking the spike. I've already got a stake next to it so that as it grows, I can kind of train it to go up to a certain point, and then I'll let her hang naturally. All right, and then here we have, is this Peachy? it is Peachy. So Peachy is finishing off this leaf here. She has got root growth all over the place, and I have recently attached this stake to the pot, and then the wire is connected to her old flower spike to have her sit up a little bit more because she was just too front heavy here. Over here next to her we have a Phalaenopsis soft cloud, and the keiki is producing a spike. So this is not the first spike she's produced, but so far it is the largest that she's produced with the most buds on it. So we don't move her very often, and when I water her I put her back almost exactly in the same place. And then over here we have our velvet. She's got those deep purple, just all velvet with just a little spot of white on her. She is kind of pouting still a little bit in this pot, but she's starting to recover. So she's starting to pick herself back up. I don't see any new growths on her quite yet. Then let's move down to the bottom of our shelf here. This is a NOID Oncidium. She kind of looks like one of the bobcats, but she is finishing off this growth back here. Probably won't get a bloom off of it just because she's in recovery, but she's doing well. Lots of roots in the pot. This is our Zygonesia Dove of Peace that did come with a new growth. That new growth did kind of abort itself, so she's just kind of sitting there, and that's okay. It might take her a year to get settled in. As long as she doesn't die, I'm good. Then here we have our two bromeliad pups that will bloom red if they ever rebloom, along with some more succulents. I don't know the type. So let's go look at the shelf. All right. So we are back on a chair, just FYI, in case it gets a little shaky. This is the top of the grow shelf. This is where I keep all of my begonias, and we will kind of go through them here real quick. But I do have a golden pothos up here, but let's see. Yeah, it could use some water too. It's not as bad as the one in the window. But back here we have our watermelon peperomia, doing rather well. We have our Lindodon begonia. We have an angel wing begonia here, and then we have our pink mink here. And then this one is a NOID. I recently did a video where I split them all and doubled my begonia collection. This here is one of the NOIDs and the Lindodon in the same pot, and they're doing really well together. There is some new growth right there, and the leaves look really well. So what I've done is, you see this bowl, which looks like I need to add some water. I've got some rocks at the bottom, and I've put that up here to kind of create a little more humidity up here to keep the leaves from drying out. Again, this one here is another pink mink with an angel wing behind it. My special angel, sorry, they're all angel wing cane begonias. And then there's the other peperomia there with the Lindodon right there in the foreground. My other NOID that does have this kind of dried leaf right here that just came right off, perfect. And it's still blooming, that nice cream color. Let's see if we can pick it up without knocking it over, but it's just gorgeous. And then we have my creeping fig that is in desperate need of some water. There we are with that. And while we're up here, let's just look at the Phalaenopsis shelf. So I have this NOID back here. I believe I'm calling this is the Harlequin Splash sitting on top of the pot. She's kind of suffering a little bit, so we are babying her. And then this is my Minden Hall that is working on finishing off that new leaf, and then she's just got roots coming out galore. This one here is one of the 3 rescues that I got in the same pot a year ago. I've had them since May of 2020, and they just recently in about March time frame of this year actually started doing something. So since this one has come back to life, she's produced this leaf here. She's working on this one, which looks like it's going to be a little more fat, and then she's got lots of roots coming in as well. So she is in full recovery. And then we have my lark song back here that has finished off the leaf to the right and has a new leaf coming out. And then back here we have Pinky finishing off the leaf to the right, which is one of the larger ones. And then we have another NOID that if I had not killed the spike by breaking it, I would have known what it was. So I guess I just have to wait. But again, lots of growth, lots of fruits in the pot. And then over here we have another NOID. I call small leaves just because when she was in recovery, her leaves were smaller than this one, but it looks like she is since caught up. Here we have the, which one is this? Is this the chains in? Let me see. Focus. Let's see, can we get it to focus? Nope, I guess it's not. But it is the Chains and Diamond. I will post pictures, but she is finishing off the leaf that you see right there. I did turn her around. I had her facing the other way. This leaf was going the other way, but then it started trying to go backwards. So I turned her around so that to straighten that leaf up. And you can kind of do that to train your leaves and your spikes. Just make sure they're facing the light. And over here we have another one of the three recovering Phalaenopsis that I got in the same pot in last May. This leaf is completely strong. It's just holding itself up. I had a spike under there for a while. She worked on this leaf here, and then she had another leaf that I broke off because she was growing out. Like there was another covering here, and then she was just kind of popped out and couldn't get out, so I was trying to get her out and I ended up breaking it. But let me see if I can zoom in just a wee bit. If you can see, she's continuing that leaf growth even though I broke it. So that is amazing. Lots and lots of roots in her pot as well. Then next to her we have our Phalaenopsis violacea crossed back to sibling, who is working on that leaf on the left, and she's got some new roots going down in the pot. And then next to her we have our pink lip, who was pouting and droopy, who is now decided that she is going to recover herself and finishing off that new leaf right there. And then here we have one with a really long name. Let me see if I can get it in focus here. Let's see. This is the Phalaenopsis Pure Moon Pixie. It is a cross between Phalaenopsis Timothy Christopher cross to Phalaenopsis Brother Lawrence. She has some absolutely beautiful blooms. Again, one I've had since October of 2019. Have not ever had her rebloom. But she has grown this leaf, and finishing off this leaf so far this season. So hopefully she will bloom come fall. She's got new roots going down in the pot, as well as lots of roots in there as well. And then we have Miss Iris. Miss Iris, who has been in bloom since January. And I see there's a spent one here, but if you can see, she keeps extending her blooms. So I'm just, as long as she's healthy, as long as your Phalaenopsis are healthy, you can let them bloom forever. Obviously at some point you may want to cut the spike just to let her recover, but she's got lots of roots in the pot. She's got leaves. She's doing really well. All right, so let me get off this stool and we'll finish looking at the shelf.